Or we're just waiting a few more moments as people come in, but to those that already joined, welcome to the latest installment of the FAQ hour or FAQ hour, not to be mispronounced if you say that too quickly. So we'll just give it a few more moments. And it's good to see so many people already joining, so that's fantastic. Hi, Brian. Thanks for the hello. As always in these sessions, feel free to use the chat widget to ask any questions, and I'll love to sort of be interrupted as I go along, and I can sort of answer those questions as I do that. Today we'll be going through quite a lot of new features, as well as covering some of the frequently asked questions that's been popping up. Hopefully help you guys get the most out of Can I Build as well. As always, it's being live streamed to Facebook and being recorded, and we'll be uploading the session at the end on YouTube as well. So you'll be able to replay any parts that may have been missed. So let's see what the time is now. Might give it another, say, 30 seconds as people keep flooding in, which is great. Hope everyone's been well, given especially those of you in New South Wales and now even Queensland and Victoria in terms of the shutdown. I know it's a tremendous headache in terms of disruption, but I hope you guys are keeping safe, as well as being calm in regards to the whole situation, because I know there's a lot of stress. And in a small way, I do hope that Can I Build lets you keep that communication going with clients, especially on Zoom sessions, to be able to explain what their build can do, because a lot of clients would probably be saying, let's revisit this in a week or 2 weeks, but you're able to keep that communication, especially for those LGAs in lockdown. But look, we've crossed over to over 50 people on, so I'll get started, because I know everyone's time is precious. For those of you that haven't seen me before, Timothy Cocaro, I'm the founder of Can I Build. For those of you that have just recently jumped onto Can I Build, I particularly say hello and thank you for finding the time to jump on. Today, we'll be going through quite a few discussion points and showcasing. We'll be definitely showing the widget. So I can see there's quite a few developers on this session, which is great, as well as I'll be showing the widget, how it works for developers, builders. It's particularly of interest to those of you that are directly the business owner, but also the sales consultants. It'll be great for you to get an idea of what's coming in that regards. I'll also be touching on the updated flyer that we're generating. So that's looking a lot better, and there's quite a few improvements, and also touching on switching between, say, CDC or QDC to DA and DCP, touching on the deal aspect as well as, of course, as the shout out said, we'll be switching sides of setbacks, which is particularly of interest to our ACT clients, and even our New South Wales and Queensland clients, which have the choice of choosing a zero side lot as well. So everyone knows that I like to blab, so I'll try to stop that for now and share my screen and start showing you what we've been doing. Okay, so I've shared my screen here, and basically what we're seeing here is the example of the web widget. So for those of you that haven't heard of what we've been doing in terms of this web widget, it's a lightweight Can I Build version that can be embedded on any landing page or website. So this is an example of Rescon Granny Flats web page. It's showcasing how the widget can be embedded into the page. The process of embedding takes a minute. We've got install guides in regards to how that works, but essentially allows visitors to a website to be able to check out their block of land, pick your builds, and be able to cite them in a very lightweight, friendly version. So it improves the user experience, and also be able to showcase those designs and act as a tremendous lead gen to clients. So here we've got this this widget that you can see here. You're able to operate it in a similar way to Can I Build. The actual pins that you're seeing there is because we've turned on showing those as states. So you can actually cite on unregistered blocks and registered blocks on this widget. But if we start typing in an address, lo and behold, here comes my 78 Hood Street address. I'm a creature of habit. If we type in that address, what will happen is it will actually showcase that address. On the left-hand side, it'll load up all your designs as well. But basically here, it's suggesting to the client to register. Now, they can create a new account, which basically allows them to put in their details or verifies on their mobile number, which is great to verify that it's an actual person and it acts as a lead. So essentially what happens here is it creates a guest user account for them to be able to come back and start playing around with your designs on their block of land. So it's basically this soft self-service as well. They can use Facebook and Google to log in, which only acts as a further reinforcement in terms of that user verification. And it's a quite simple process to log in. So essentially that's the start of the lead-in, the lead generation. So if I log in myself with an account I've already created, what will happen is you'll be able to cite that, see that address in as you do here. It's a very simple dashboard. It's tremendously cut down in that regards. And on the left-hand side, you'll be able to see the designs showcasing, say, for example, here, granny flats. So you're able to position this build in a very similar way as you do with the sales application, but you can see it's void of any of the complexity that is contained within, say, for example, the sales app. Not to say that the sales app is complex, but it's trying to remove, any functionality in terms of quoting or contours, etc. It's meant to just have that sort of user experience where they can cycle through your designs, choose a design and see how it fits on their block of land. Now, the nice thing here is it'll remember that user account, so they can actually start creating their own dashboard, so they can start seeing what they've done in the past, especially if it's an investor. And since you have their mobile number, that's obviously that provides that lead-in where when they register, it will connect directly to your CRM. That user account will be flagged. It'll showcase in terms of the mobile number. You'll actually see what they've been able to position on their block, and you're obviously able to reach out and call them and say, that's a great choice of design. Let's, have a bit of a chat. Now, the next steps of, they can sort of cycle through and choose the designs. The next steps obviously would be next step. Here, and I'll expand this in a bit. Here you can elect to just simply show nothing or show a running itemization of, say, the cost of the build, the cost of that plant. You've got the full functionality as showing the cost or not showing the cost. But at this point, you're able to click Get Flyer. And what they'll do is it'll send the flyer to the email address. Now, this is another soft way to verify that the correct email is there, because I'll enter in their email correctly in order to get that flyer. Now, what I'll do is I'll show you how that looks on my end. So I'll make sure that I'm sharing my full screen at this stage, so full screen. So basically I've received this email, as you can see here. So it's an email with the download now, so you can download that flyer. So it's a nice, easy way to get that flyer. If I click download now, we'll be able to have a look at how that flyer actually looks like. So here you can see that auto-generated flyer. It's got the logo, branding, facade of the design name, what range it belongs to. You can decide to show price or not show price. It's got the description, it's got the floor plan, and it's got the sales consultant's details. This is the person that you've nominated to receive web inquiries, for example. So in this particular case, Alex would have received this inquiry and can then continue that conversation with the client, given that they both have email and phone number. So you can see how quickly it is to now engage with your clients and provide something that's true to them. In addition to this widget, the functionality, you can see a button to the right-hand side of Get Flyer. Now, basically that allows you to also create a payment gateway. Now, the reason why we've got a payment gateway is it gives you the opportunity to, in some cases, say, for example, you're a developer. A lot of our developer clients are seeking to request a holding deposit payment gateway, so someone can site on a vacant block of land, place a, say, for example, a $500,000 refundable holding deposit, or you can have nothing at all. You can have just Get Flyer, or just simply restricted to just showing the floor plan on the design and have that sort of engagement factor. Now, the nice thing with the system is, say, for example, I gave a granny flat example there. Let's just say there's a house example. So you can sort of zoom in, click on an estate like you would any other, and then say, choose a block of land. Let's just say this one here. And then you're able to position a house, etc., in much the same way. So here's one that I've positioned earlier. And then you're able to repeat the same process, Get Flyer, generate that, it'll send the copy. And all these interactions are being tracked by your CRM. So you'll be able to get that analytics to say how many properties been cited, which ones they've been citing on, and then be able to, when you call the client, have a more detailed understanding as to what's being done and their individual circumstance. So if I just quickly jump back to that. So let me just share my email as well, just so you can have a look at how this flyer looks. So again, you've got this new email that's just come through, and then you're able to click download now in much the same way. And then you've got the house example. Now, the reason I've loaded up this one is to show you the improvements we've done on the flyer. So you can see that it's a lot smoother now. And also you've got the ability to have tick boxes, dimension boxes in a neater format to be able to give a more crystal clear view of what your build looks like. And again, you're able to hide and show price at will now. So if anyone is interested in the web widget and further discussions on that, obviously we're happy to discuss that. So let me just quickly jump back and share my screen. Sorry for jumping around, guys. So in short, you're able to do embed the widget on the website, be able to allow clients to log in, guest register, connect to your CRM, track those interactions, place your builds on their block of land. You're able to decide whether or not you want to be able to show developments or not show developments. So for instance, with many of our granny flat clients, they wouldn't want to show that for pools as well. They want to just be able to rely on the address, and you're able to do that in a nice, easy manner where clients can really start getting that sort of user experience to sort of play around with it without the complexity of understanding contours and the rules and regs. So that still allows you as the experts to be able to engage with those clients, and for developers to be able to showcase developments and which blocks are available, sold, on hold, etc. What I'll now quickly show is how far you can push the widget. So I've got some screenshots that I'll run through and explain to give you food for thought, because you're also able to use it to display your house and land packaging. You're also able to share house and land packaging to developers. for them to showcase on their estates. So just to be able to showcase that. And I would like to sort of clarify before I show these PDFs, none of the logos or companies being used here are endorsing this in any way. They're just used there for to showcase a concept as opposed to any endorsement. So I don't want to sort of rely on any one company's brand name in any way. So I'm quickly showing this PDF to be able to show that the widget can be branded and stylized. We've just mocked up some of these company names. So again, I don't want to sort of leverage their good standing and good name in any way, aside from showcasing what's possible with the widget. So you can see again, the widget can be branded and stylized in colors to the website. And on the left-hand side, we've got estates, house or land packaging, etc. If I start going down, you can see how we can color code in terms of those developments, and you may have already seen that happening in quite a lot of the estates that we have. So green for available, orange for on hold, and red. And you can see here that you can actually start displaying your house or land packaging in an intuitive way. And then as soon as the user tries to click on it, it'll come up with the account registration as I demonstrated. And then you start using this in the similar way. This is the section where you can allow to show an itemized breakdown of what's being done. So the cost of the block, the cost of the build, nothing too complex. And then you're able to get flyer or pay now to put a holding deposit, say, for example, with a house and land package or a block of land. Or this can even be tweaked to be able to say, get finance or have some other trigger point to connect back into one of your systems. Here you're able to switch between the facades. So if there's different facades at different prices, that's how you can build up that price, plus some major inclusion items like the kitchen upgrade, the bathroom upgrade, etc. So the payment gateway, it pops up, and then these funds get transferred directly to your account via a Stripe account. So this is also a nice touch to be able to get that holding deposit straight away. So I'm just scrolling down and basically showing now the backend configuration. Basically, here you can see on the top left-hand side, you're able to hide or show pricing. You're able to select the download flyer or the payment item buttons to be shown or not shown. On the right-hand side, you can allocate which user within the sales application is to receive those web inquiries. This could be a central person or a particular salesperson based on zone. And then at the bottom, these 2 points are typically more relevant to our developer clients. You can select which points of interest you would like to show or not show, as well as which estates you want to restrict the search capability to. So for instance, developers will want them to, their clients to search 78 Good Street, as much as I would love that address to be searched by all, but they all want to focus on just say development A or B or C, and then you're able to have that functionality there by restricting it. And then to simply embed the code, you can embed this widget in as many landing pages as you want. So it doesn't have to be just the main website. It could be a custom website that a builder has for a particular large development or a developer, etc., etc. But I hope this gives some food for thought in terms of this new feature that's been released in the next couple of days. So this is basically just a sneak preview as to what's being done here. So basically that's the web widget run through. I didn't want to sort of turn this into a sales session, as to given that this feature will be the first time that a lot of you see, but I hope that gives you some food for thought. So please, for those of you that are interested, you can reach out and we can discuss further as to how we can put that on your website quite easily, so you can start taking advantage of that user interaction and user experience in a lightweight kind of way, as well as being able to promote your house and land packages for those that are home builders, your land estates for those that are developers, and even for pool and shed builders. You can imagine the client interaction that they can start seeing your builds on their blog. That being said, the next point, and like always, feel free to jump in with any questions, but the next point that I wanted to raise was a feature that's been requested a lot in terms of switching between the site setbacks. So I just wanted to showcase that functionality So let me just jump onto that and show you how that works. So I'll no prizes to which address I'm going to load up. I really need to pick a different one. We have a question here. Has anyone signed on for this service and when will it be launched? We're already launching it now in terms of we've been working with quite a few builders and developers in the background. So we've been able to sort of provide them early access. But if it's of interest, you can definitely reach out to us and we can sort of include you in that process. We do much of the heavy lifting to sort of explain and leverage our development ability to put it on the website so you don't even have to rely on a web developer for that. So the short answer is, when is it being launched? Its formal launch date is on the 16th of this month, but it's already live and able to be used, as you can see in that ResCon example. That's actually live on the website. So the formal launch day is the 16th, but we're taking in early interest right now. So I hope that answered your question, Janine. I've got another question from Kat. All I'm seeing is the word Tim, so feel free to sort of push that question through. In the meantime, guys, we've got this address here, 78 Hood Street, if anyone was sort of scratching their head as to which address it was. Now, you can see here in this example, we've got a 0-side lot. Now, under CDC New South Wales, we're able to provide a 0-side lot with less than 12.5 meters frontage. So in order to do that, that's automatically being shown. Now, previously, you weren't able to decide which side to allocate that side setback, that 0-side setback. Now you can. So to do that, it's very simple. Very simple. Sorry, I was just quickly reading a question. I'll jump onto those in a second. It's very simple. All you have to do is click the padlock. So you'll see a little green padlock on the top left-hand corner. It might appear on any corner. So if you unclick that, you can see a few things. You can see, if you zoom in, it's now showing switch sides on these side setbacks. So if you do then click on switch sides, basically this will switch that setback, and now you can see that it's on the other side. Now, this is of particular importance to our ACT clients who can nominate boundary 1 and boundary 2, but also you can see for our New South Wales clients and clients around the country and even in the States, this gives you the opportunity to switch those setbacks to be able to showcase that. So I hope that's of benefit. I'll quickly answer some of the questions. Tim, when are the aerial photos updated? Good question. Basically, our photos are updated typically every 2 to 3 months. So it's quite often. If you ever wanted to see the date of the aerial photo, on the bottom left, you can see this map widget here. Just above the map widget is the actual date. So here you can see 5th of the 6th, 2021. So it's about 2 months old. So 2 month and a half old. So you can see always the date of the photo that you're looking at by looking at that date. In next month, we'll be releasing the ability to cycle through the history of those photos because there's some clients, especially those in Canada, where it snows a lot. So you can imagine if the photo is showing a snowed outside, they're seeing absolutely nothing. And for clients in Australia, the situation is sometimes the tree might cause an overshadow on the whole block and you can't really see anything because everything's dark and you're trying to choose which historical photo showcases the site clearest. So that's coming as well. We've got a few other questions here. We've got Jamie, the photos being updated. I hope that sort of answered that question at the same time. We've got a message from Kat. Hi, wondering if when the ability to put 2+ dwellings on a single title, 100%. The multi is something that our whole team has been working on tremendously. The good news is next month is going to be a big month. We'll be So definitely tune into the webinar for the next month one, because we'll be showcasing the launch of Double Story, which is coming in the next couple of days. So hold your breath for that one, as well as multi. So those are the two items, especially from home builders, that have been of tremendous demand. It was something that I have promised, especially for multi, to have released last month. So I do apologize that we've missed that that ETA, but it's definitely coming in this month. So I hope that answers your question, and then you'll be able to put in a house, a pool, a granny flat, 2 houses, etc. And I'll also check the rules, which is the complexity behind that. So I hope that's well received. So next month will be a monster month in terms of that functionality. Is there a way multiple designs on one site, Shannon? That is the that multi, so that's coming in this month. So you'll be able to do that. We've got another question. Hi, Tim, wondering if, well, we've got about 3-4 people asking about multi. So for everyone that's asking about multi, whether it's for subdivision or showing a house and a granny flat or a house and a pool, that will be coming in next month, and we'll be showcasing that in the next webinar as well. So for those clients that have been with us for a year now, I do apologize. Multi has been one of these things that's been requested quite often, and I genuinely apologize that we haven't been able to bring that forward sooner, but we will be excited to announce it and launch it next month. Okay, so will we be able to add markups in different colors and freehand shapes and lines of text? You can do that now. So just to showcase, so the question, guys, was, are we able to mark up and showcase different shapes in different colors? You can. So on the right hand side, just below Hi Timothy, there's a few icons. The one with the square, if you click on that, you're able to mark up, say for example here you want to mark up a granny flat in the backyard indicatively. You're able to do that quite simply, and then that marks that up in that that shape. If you click on it, you've got different options. You can change the color. So let's just go with pink. Let's go a bit wild. You can change the opacity. You can change the line thickness. You can also edit by clicking this pen, and then you can even expand out. So this is a way to mitigate the fact that we don't have multi yet, just to be able to show how that structure might look. For our concrete pool builders, you can mark out using the curve, something like this, and then you're able to mark out different pool shapes, especially for our custom pool builders, to be able to very quickly showcase that. And then again, you can change the color of that and indicate coping, etc. And then you can start manipulating that shape in any way. So hopefully these provide you with some insight in terms of how you can position these, and you can sort of play around with these designs and rotate, etc. So our custom builders also use this as a mud map to create an indication, especially on weirdly shaped blocks, as to what's possible. So I'm hoping that answers that question. Now, just on a very other quick sort of point that I wanted to make, and I'll definitely jump back to these questions as they're coming in. If in a similar view as the switching of the side setbacks, you can also switch the primary and secondary setback. This is of particular importance to our granny flat clients. So if you click on a corner block, the system is doing its best to estimate, to decide which one is the primary frontage. So if I click here, and let's just pick a design. I'm sure everyone's surprised that then click 4-bedroom 2-bath design. So I'll place that design here. You can see that if I show the build area, it's correctly, in this case, identifying the front setback, the primary setback. as the Hood Street frontage, and then the side setback is just that side setback. Now, so let's just say the house was orientated towards Ward Street and you wanted to switch which one is the primary setback. It's in the same way as the side setbacks. You can click the padlock and click switch. Now, if you switch, you can see here it's made this the primary, then allocating the front setback in accordance. You can see this looks ridiculous here because it's incorrect, but it shows you the functionality of being able to switch that primary and secondary setbacks if that indeed is required, particularly for the granny flat marker, which many times the house is orientated to the other street, and it gives you the ability to switch those setbacks. So you've got that functionality too, and then you close the padlock off just to be able to return back to being able to cite. Let me just quickly go back. We've got a quick question from Mark. A draw tool to be identified as a specific build type, 100%. So if I go back to our rarely searched 78 Hood Street, which you would think I'll be able to find it quicker. So if I click on that guy there, just to go back to those shapes that I drew, very shortly, we're hoping by next month, but it's something that we are working on. Once you draw a shape, you'll be able to identify and allocate what, annotate what that shape is going to be. So you're able to then say, okay, we want that shape to be a house, a pool, and then all the setbacks, etc., will be attributed to that as well, which is quite nice. So you'll be able to do that on the fly. So essentially what that allows our home builders to do, especially our custom builders, is to be able to very quickly draw up a mud map, identify it's a house, and it'll activate all the setbacks. So let me just also then quickly jump to a few other points that I wanted to show. Quite a few other questions have come, so just let me quickly jump onto those in some scattergun type fashion. So, and if I've missed any questions, please just repeat it, but I'll try to jot it down now. So we've got Jamie is asking, can we do a quick demo on using the toggle structure elevation? Yep, let's do that. Let me do that straight away. So basically the question is, toggles structure elevation will be able to play with the foundation height. So let me just go back to this address. Sorry, one tick. Let me just play with one with a more dramatic contour. So just give me one tick. Now, in terms of the, let me just quickly load a design on. So just give me 1 second. I might have to refresh my screen because I've been jumping in and out of the widget. So just give me 1 second, guys. The other questions as I'm loading that up is, let me just quickly go through. Toggle the structure, that will definitely do. Let me just turn on the light again. Measure guide, are you able to do a text box to put in accurate measurements 12 by 5 for pool? I'll show that as well. So let me just quickly go to stream and I'll quickly try to show. So one question was, can we show the measurements? accurate measurements for those tools. Can we play with the structure elevation? So let me do that straight away. So just give me 1 second. So let me just pick a side. I'm really hoping there's no issue here, which is always a drama if it's live on a webinar, but let's just hope that we can just get through this. I might have to clear cache, which is something that I'm sure our support from Sid has mentioned quite a few times. So let me just do that for myself now. So just give me a moment, guys. So I'll try to answer while I'm trying to log in here. So I'll try to answer some of the other questions as I go along. Can we do an overlay over the top to highlight a customer's preference and modification to a standard design? I'll do that as well. So I'm really hoping I can just log in and continue. So I apologize, guys. Bear with me. All right, so basically here I'll run quickly through the questions. Can we designate a specific size to a measurement? Yes, you can. So if I click on this measure tool like this and type it in, you can see that little measurement in yellow. If you press enter, you're able to then type in 5, for example, and designate this to be 5 meters, for example. You can also, if I do another measurement here, you can keep pressing enter. So say 5 meters and then press 3 meters and then press 2 meters or whatever might be the situation. So if you've got some dimensions that you're actually working with, you can get that specific measurement, or you can just free guide. You can also click on it, click the edit, and then if you click any of the side segments, you're able to sort of elongate and change that. So that's how you can give specific sizes. The other question, is there a way of getting into recent addresses? So there's quite a few questions. Let me just jot them each down. Now, I've just shown how to be able to provide specific addresses, which button switches views from satellite, non-satellite. On the bottom left, you can see a map button there. If you click on that, it switches to non-satellite and then satellite. So you're able to switch between those two. In regards to the earlier question to explain how to use that elevation and drop edge feature, the feature is found on the right-hand side just below Hi Timothy. It's the last icon there. If you click on that icon, it will show you the A, B, C, and D, so the 4 corners of the build. In this case, it'll show you 1.5, 1 meter. So in blue, it's signifying it's a drop edge. Points A, points B in green is showing on grade, so it's level with the ground. Now, in regards to those 4 points there, the way you play with the elevation, say for example, in the alfresco, the client wants it level with the ground. What you do is you click on point A. It's always point A. Point A is editable, so you can highlight there and then say negative 0.75, for example. Now, when you do that, you're able to see the adjustment on all 4 corners, all elevation corners. So now it's 250 in the air, 750, but more importantly, A and B is shown in red as bulk earthworks and excavation. Now, we are releasing in the next 2 weeks auto site cost, which basically means a quick plug for Steel Chief. In the construction tab, you'll be able to see that we can automatically assign 50/50 cut and fill, max cut levels, min cut levels, max heights for raised piers as well. So those of you not building in slab, we are also got a cover for raised piers, and the building area offset. So those four corners, rather being on the edge of the build, it can be 1 meter out, which is the pad clearance area. So while this page is here, it's not released just yet, but you can see it's coming very soon. So hopefully that answers that question. So I'll just quickly jot down. Sorry guys if I'm missing any. I'm trying my best to sort of jump to everyone. Quick demo on structure elevation, just did that. So tick. Number 2, the measuring guide in terms of specific measurement. I've done that, tick. I'm having issues in the Shires not being able to read measurements. Can they be enlarged? We've done that. So if you look at the site plan now being generated, we've doubled the size of the measurement. Sorry for making everyone need the Hubble telescope to be able to see those measurements. We genuinely apologize for that. The measurements are now larger. You can even see with the annotations as well. We've done that clearer to see the numbering on that as well. So we are working to always improve the system to make it clearer and more visible in the generated site plan. So that's already there. If the sizing is still not correct, feel free to reach out to us on support@canobuild.com, and we can always work to improve that site plan. What button is to switch the satellite view? Tick, we've done that. Can we overlay over the top of a plan? 100%. What we're doing is, what we've done is right now, if you pick, say, the line tool and you start a line and go through, it goes under the plan. A lot of our clients have been marking on top of the plan using measurements to measure out a corridor or a bedroom. In the next few days, when you start a line on top of the plan, it'll showcase on top of the plan. So that way, if you start a line from outside the plan, it'll go under, assuming it's like a sewer easement or you're indicating something that shouldn't be shown on top. But if you start on top of the plan, it will be on top of the plan. And that's coming out in the next couple of days as well. So we're trying to fix that as we sort of know that some clients are measuring out bedrooms and garages as part of their costing and quoting. And I hope that answers that question. Brian, I'm assuming that's what you meant by that. Is there any way of getting a recent address quickly? And this is from Jacqueline. Definitely there is. So the way to do that is the question is essentially, how do I navigate back to an address, and how do I know what I've searched, and how do I get back to something easily without having to just remember all the email addresses or refer back to the CRM and see which one you're dealing with. On the top right-hand side, you've got My Dashboard. So if you click on My Dashboard, basically this is showcasing all the addresses that have been looked up. So you can scroll here and see. So you can see that I've gone to 780 Hood Street, someone else has gone from within the team to Windsor, etc. And then you can see I went to 22 Smith to test the corner. Then you can see I quickly tried to do 278 Blacktown Road as I was panicking that something was going wrong, but fortunately it was just probably an internet issue. And then you've got 48 Hood Street, which was next door, etc., etc. So you're able to click on these and jump to them. In the search, you can actually search by anything. You can search by the client name, for example, and everyone that's done my demos know that all my clients are named Jim. And then you can also search by a particular part of the address. So say, for instance, Maruka, and then it'll pick up either Maruka's road or Maruka suburb, etc. You can search by the user, so your team, if you've got that visibility access, or by date. So if you know that it was yesterday, you can do yesterday. And then furthermore, you can even tag your deals. So you can call it hot or cold or warm or get back to, and be able to sort of see what's happening there as well. So hopefully that answers that question. You can use this to navigate both your addresses and what you've looked up, as well as orders. So any orders that you've done, be it a site plan, a flyer, or a title, or a DP, you can do the same kind of search here and search by the address. So say Maruka, which I've done nothing on. Let's check up 78 Hood Street, because I suspect there'll be a few addresses there. And then you'll be able to simply click the blue cloud and download. So you'll be able to sort of access everything. So the entire idea of dashboard, it's a consolidated, easy to access view for both anything you order as well as anything you've searched. I'll quickly jump to how do you set a client's name? This is from Michael, good question. On the left-hand side, you can see here that I've already allocated this one to Jim. I really need to be a little bit more creative. So let's just say you hadn't allocated a client. It'll start off like that, add client, and then here you can just start typing it in. So if you type in Jim, it'll tap into all the gyms that you have on the system. I doubt you'll have as many as me. And then let's go wild, John. John, you can then click this and it'll assign it, especially if it's a previous client. But if it's a new client, Joe Don 2, you can click the plus, and here you can allocate a phone number and or email and click save, and it'll be assigned. The nice thing about assigning a client is when you come back to this address, you know who it is, but as well as generating site plans and flyers, it'll allocate their name, so it's a nice personalization touch. You have to provide at least phone number or email, and that's only because we've got the ability to integrate back into your CRM and keep that single source of truth. We've got no intention of becoming a CRM ourselves. It's only to be able to have that link. So I hope that answered that question. Michael, can we nominate a build pad offset between 2-story and single story? Yes, when we're launching, you can see in that admin, you've got the building offset, so you can allocate that to be 1 meter or 0.9. We've double story. If the question is 2 separate building offsets, just let us know. If you're talking about setbacks, 100% when we're launching second story, you'll be able to see the setbacks of the second story as well as the ground floor, and be able to work exactly the same way, and you'll be able to switch between ground floor and second story interchangeably. So that's happening in the next couple of days. It will be one of the main topics of our next webinar. So I'm just quickly going through some of these questions, and apologies if I'm struggling to get to all. Wondering how to name snip uploads. If you're, okay, so Darren, if you're talking about uploads of designs, maybe if you can just clarify that with me, and I'll definitely jump onto that one. If you're uploading a design, it's got a place there to allocate the build name. So I'm not sure if I'm misunderstanding the question. Do you have the ability to represent and add trees and their size, etc., so it's reported? In the same way I'm mentioning that you're able to annotate that, say this pink rectangle is a granny flat and this one is a pool in the next within the next 2 weeks, you'll be able to do the same for trees. So right now, if the tree is nominated, great, but if it's not, very soon you'll be able to click that measure tool, click on the tree function, the circle, which could be a silo for farms or anything, and then you could be able to mark that up. And then you'll be able to annotate this as a tree. And then you'll be able to annotate this as a tree to be demolished by owner or by builder. And then that'll come up on the site plans as well. So just hold on for 2 weeks and we'll be able to annotate these. But in the interim, you'll be able to do that, right click, add annotation and say client to remove tree as an example. Or this is a silo, or this is whatever it might be. So hopefully that is an interim step that you can definitely use. So hopefully that answered that question to Mr. Anonymous. So hopefully that helped. Can we search lot and DP instead of site address? You can search by lot number for unregistered blocks. That functionality is still not available for registered blocks, but I know that we are working on that. I don't know what the ETA is, but I can definitely tell you it'll be relatively soon. So that is a shortcoming we've identified, and soon you'll be able to search by, if you're in the States, APN, or if you're in New South Wales lot, and if you're in the ACT, by lot and section. So it'll be able to be smart enough to differentiate all those differences. So Rahil, I hope that helps, but you can definitely search by lot for unregistered blocks. So if I showcase that and I type in lot 8 80 and scroll down, it'll try to pick up lot 80 for any number of states. So you can start typing in lot 80 of Hills of Carmel and drill down to that specific lot. Tim Gold, hello. Given the number of states that needed to be loaded and to be up to date, can there be an option to draw one-off site uploads? Right now there isn't. You can use that line tool to sort of showcase that. So for example, if I was to click on a lot, like let me just go to one that should be blank. Let me just click this guy. You'll be able to indicatively show it. So if I click on the line tool, you'll be able to say, okay, well, this subdivision is occurring in this way, and sort of mark that out and be able to showcase that subdivision, and then show plan A and plan B on these two proposed subdivisions. So there is that ability. If it's a smaller subdivision of say 4 or 5 lots, then just feel free to email support@canabuild.com and we'll do that. But I hope this can give you at least an interim solution in terms of showing where that split is, especially if it's just proposed. You wouldn't want to spend too much time anyway, given that the likelihood it's going to change throughout when they go to submit and then through the submission, etc. So this is the interim solution to that. The other quick questions that we've got with flyers: default email address in House Lamp, can the contact person be more than one person? Right now, no, Andrew, but that's something we definitely have to do. So maybe reach out to us through support@canabuild.com and we can start expediting that, because that is a request that's been done before, requested. It's something that I'll have to get on top of to have multiple contacts, etc. So there's contact A and contact B. Okay, I've got another one from Rahil. Tiny house and home office business. My building is class 1, not secondary dwelling. Okay, so if there is differences in, say, the specific build type, say manufactured home code, for example, definitely reach out to us and we can add that into your account. So if there is a specific code set, so it's not secondary dwelling, it's manufactured home, say for example, in New South Wales, just reach out to us and we can do that. If it's something, if it's the US, etc., just reach out to us. We can add additional specific build types to differentiate between, say, secondary and tiny home. What about searching septic tanks on properties? In terms of our easements and utilities, we're always loading more. In terms of septic tanks themselves, if you can give us an example, we'll see if we can investigate that a little bit further for you, Sharon. Sorry, Sharon, and then we'll be able to respond to that. I just want to get a bit of more context for that question. So I'll quickly try to keep jumping around with the questions while I go along. I really hope you guys enjoy the scattergun approach. I really don't want this to be too formal. It's just a way for people to jump on and ask whatever they need, and also get a bit of taste in regards to what's being launched and what's come out. So I hope I'm doing okay so far. There's been a lot more questions in this time round than in some of the previous ones, which is great. So keep it coming. Now, in regards to the other points I wanted to raise, we've gone through the widget. I've touched on the new flyer. We can have those ticks, dimension box, and have a much more rich experience in terms of that final flyer. The other thing to quickly point out as well, which a lot of people have asked and it's not aware that that feature exists. If I zoom in, and this is sort of touching on Rahil's points as well, and apologies if I mispronounced that, is if you go to rules, you're able to see these are CDC rules, but you can see a drop down here, CDC and DCP. This is the way you can switch between, say, for example, state rules such as CDC and QDC for Queensland, and the state bills for the US for ADUs and so on. If you click here, you can switch to the local, for those of you that don't sleep and are from the United States, say hi if you are. You can switch to local city rules. If you're in Australia, that'll be local council rules. And then if you switch to that, you can see on the aerial here that the build area has changed to reflect those rules. So that's something that we get asked about a lot as well. So we've got a few other questions, which I'm trying to get through as well. Thanks, Darren, for the email. I'll definitely get in contact with you in regards to those questions. Definitely, I'll jump right onto that. Summer, will we be able to connect two lots in the future? The short answer is yes. Right now, what we're trying to do is be the best tool possible for the 99% case scenario where someone's just going, this is my block of land. In regards to the multiple blocks, we will be. Our intention isn't to start saying, okay, here you can build a sky rise and here you can build 50 townhouses. But if it's an amalgamation of two lots, say for a home, a granny flat, or and those kind of scenarios, then the answer is yes. We are planning on doing that, but yeah, it's not in this hyper development concept where you amalgamate 22 lots and then you can build a mixed-use development. That's not our forte, even though some developers are using us for that because they leverage the contours. But we're very much focused on, can I build a house? Can I build a granny flat? Can I build a pool? Can I build a shed? Can I build something on that residential block? But so I'm happy to have an offline discussion to delve further with you. That's 100%. So I'm quickly looking through. If I've missed any question, guys, just copy and paste the question again. I am scrolling and scrolling. There's heaps of questions, which is amazing, guys. So my rules often don't show up. Who do I talk about this? Okay, so where I just showed how you can switch between the DCP and CDC, if that's not available, simply email support@canobuild.com and say, I'm working within this council and I'm not seeing that. At Canobuild, we're not trying to promise that we have every single rule permutation for every single jurisdiction over Australia, New Zealand, the US, and Canada where we operate. We just become hyper responsive. So simply email support@canobuild.com and say, hey, we predominantly work in this council. I can't seem to switch between the DCP and the CDC, for example, and we'll load that up for you. We try to be hyper responsive in the same way that we try to be hyper responsive with our developments. So for example, if I jump to that and click show estates, you can see, this is our demo account, so you can see all the estates across Australia, for example, and even starting to crop up in New Zealand. You can see we've got some 470 odd estates on the system. So we've got more than any platform anywhere on the earth, to be honest, in regards to the number of estates that we are showcasing. So in the same way we do estates in a hyper responsive manner, and I hope people can see that we are responding to those requests, the same with council and city rules. Basically, you get notify us and then we load those as a priority. Just jumping back to some other questions. Let me scroll down. Any tips for optimal use of Canobuild on computers? Sometimes luggage zooming in and out. Also searching by address sometimes doesn't work. We have to manually scroll to address. Okay, this is a question from Kat. It's a really good question. Say, for example, I'll answer that in two aspects. One, if you type in, say, the wrong address, so 777 Hood Street, Yaguna. Now, it could be, and you click on it, what's going to happen is this will pop up. Now, when you get this address not found, first of all, it's not saying that it's not working. It's saying that it's not 100% confident it's going to show you the right lot. Now, you might say, well, just show me what you think it is and then I'll decide. But the problem is, especially in some unregistered blocks, they all look the same, and I don't want someone to be citing something on the block that is next door. So for example, if the registered address is 70A Hood Street and you put 70 Hood Street, it will land you as close as possible, like it has here, even though I put 777, and it's landing me very close to where I should be. but it's telling you now manually select that address just to be 100% sure it's getting it. So if it's 70A and you type in 70 Hood Street, it'll pop up. If you're off by a digit, it'll pop up. If it's 70-2 Hood Street and all those kinds of permutations. So that's number one. So the search should always work. If it doesn't, even with then, reach out to us because then something's wrong. In regards to the performance of the aerial scrolling in and out, if you scroll in quite high and scroll back down, then this will have a performance impact, especially if you've got poor internet coverage. So right now, this entire session, despite having, I think we reached past 60 users and there's still 50 people watching this, I'm not on Ethernet, I'm on Wi-Fi in a closed room and the Wi-Fi box is outside. So in the end of the day, it will reflect your internet connection to a certain degree, but given how much it's doing, I'm hoping it's still quite efficient in its use. That being said, we're always trying to optimize. Some of our clients that's been with us for a while would testify that we constantly improve that performance over time. We don't just sit on our hands. So hopefully that gives people confidence in regards to the performance issues as well. We don't rest on this. We're getting quite a lot of clients jumping on, which is fantastic, using the app, and that creates more performance sort of requirements on our end. We're always working on it and we'll always be transparent in terms of the issues we have. So I'm just quickly going through some of the other questions. And all the sites does the program show services? The program does show services. It depends what services you're after. So for instance, if I go to this address, because we are, again, let me just click on a address. I think they'll all show, it doesn't really matter. So in a few seconds, you'll see, hopefully the utility line will pop up. So we do show these services, etc. We don't show stormwater, except if there are major stormwater lines, because the stormwater is typically hand-drawn by the plumber. So again, if you email us, especially if you know the service that you're looking for, just let us know. And then we'll be able to see whether or not through our council or state partnerships, we've got access to that data and we'll be able to show it. So again, in a similar tone as the developments and the city and the council rules, simply just reach out and say, hey, it'll be great to have these sewer where I am. I'm located here. So I've jumped through quite a few. Oh, geez, I haven't even noticed the time. I'll just quickly try to recap. And I really hope this session has been beneficial. And I really do. I hope I went through and I got everyone. If I haven't, simply email me direct. You can email me at support@cannonbuild.com. We're all on that email. Don't let the email throw you off. We do respond to that. You including local services. One other question here. Brian, thanks. Appreciate your time. Will you be including local services like school bus stops and traffic? Yes, we are. It should have been released last week. We'll try to get that in the next week or two. And basically, you'll be able to see whether or not you're close to a school, especially for traffic control and things like that. So I think I've covered everything. The other thing that I'll end by showing our roadmap again and just touching base on that. And then we can sort of go from there. Let me just quickly load that roadmap up and share my screen. Okay, so basically this gives you an insight of what's to come for CannonBuild. We've already released Snap the Boundary. We fell short a bit to the 500 estates that we set ourselves, but I hope you don't hang us. We got close at 475. We've got a payment gateway where you can automatically transact with the client. And that's very easy when you go to the cart. When you purchase, you can pop up a credit card payment gateway and put in the credit card details of the client. Second story, like I said, is coming, which is great. I'm pretty sure quite a few builders are holding their breath for that one. analytics to show which areas are being searched more, web widget, which is what I showcased today, which is another great. So we are trying to keep to these ETAs, plan option changes, auto site costs, and 3D. So it's going to be a really good run over the next couple of weeks. I genuinely hope, guys, that you got a lot out of this session. Please remember that this is on every month. The first Thursday at 11 o'clock every month. It will be with me, and the next month will be a monster one, especially given that we'll be talking about double story, which is tremendously in demand and one of the requests. But again, guys, really hope you got something out of it. If anyone wants to suggest anything to discuss next month, email us or put it in the chat. I'm basically here to try to give you guys as much as possible in terms of how to get the most out of the system and go from there. So I genuinely hope you got a lot out of it, and like always, and I'm trying my best to go through all the questions. This one was amazingly a lot of questions, which is fantastic. So guys, keep safe, keep selling, wear your masks, do what you have to do. Hopefully it's all over soon in terms of COVID. And again, really appreciate the trust that you put in us, and I hope we're doing as best we can to respond to each request as they come in. And I'll definitely see you next month. And if you need to speak to me earlier, you know I'm always accessible. So thanks, guys. Keep selling. Take care. And thanks for everyone that's saying bye. Jamie, Darren, everyone, not wanting to be rude. Take care. And thanks for all the questions. Till next time, guys.